let's get into the geopolitical news, because I've got about 6 or 7 articles here that all tie into each other when you're geopolitically literate. The general public thinks geopolitics is boring. That's why most college graduates can't tell you the 3 branches of government domestically, and they can't tell you the 7 continents. And but they can tell you baseball scores or football scores or NBA scores. It's not because they're even stupid. They were brought up learning how to fill their mind with tripe. It's much more interesting to know the different types of nuclear weapons. It's much more interesting to understand the history of the Russians or the Chinese or the Americans. It's fascinating. Plus, it makes you successful and informative. I've talked to U.S. ambassadors to different countries. I've talked to top generals. I've talked to insurance company heads. I've talked to rocket scientists. And they'll always be amazed at my general knowledge in their field. And they're shocked, and they'll say, well, my own engineers don't know this much stuff. And I'm somebody, folks, that can't even hardly spell. But I can certainly learn how things work and how they interconnect because it's fascinating. I'm sure I could have become a football fan expert and tell you the sports scores from 1976 or what happened in the 1984 Super Bowl or what happened this year in the Super Bowl. But you know what? I don't want to know the jockstrap size of some arrogant roid-head punk. Sorry, just not into it. But I do want to know about space probes landing on comets. I'm into really neat stuff. And you can say, hey, I'm a weirdo. Well, that's fine. Being informed, knowing known liars is a little weird. Back when this country was founded, people were into speaking 5, 6 languages and not being conned and being informed and being ready to fight. They were called the greatest people ever by foreign historians in France and England and you name it. Now we're known as the dumbest, knuckle-dragging, stupid, most unhealthy people in the world because the globalists did a job on us. Plus, we were so prosperous. Our ancestors gave us so much wealth, we became a bunch of spoiled, rotten punks that think just acting trendy and like we don't care about anything and being big slackers is cool. Not caring is cool. Not caring is not existing. You're dead already. That's what Bill Joyce said. They said, look, these aren't people anymore anyways. The only question is there's going to be a lot of moral people who don't want to be slaves who are going to fight the technocracy. And that's what the combat robots are going to be for. And the surveillance grid and the predictive systems to know when you're going to stand up. When you look around and see half the kids on your block with autism and a third of the people with cancer. And you know, you read all the government documents, how they're doing it by design and laughing at us. And, oh, no, we've got to be mopped up, huh? We don't want to wear different colored socks and have little beards and, you know, act trendy and shuffle around, have our girlfriends boss us around. We're called men. And the world doesn't need us anymore, we're told. It's the end of the age of men. We'll see about that. Because when the men in the system find out they're not going to be brought into this new world order either, when they find out it's a centralized spiritual takeover via machines by a group of adepts, Luciferians on the inside, and that it's the end of humanity as we know it because the devil wants to play God and have a new creation. When the elite find out they're going to be cut off, there's going to be some major resistance. And it's an info war, ladies and gentlemen, and reality is so much stranger than fiction. But let's get into what's currently happening.